now. Hey, hey, hey.
All right.
It's Ellen Rohr, the plumber's wife, and I'm happy to welcome you to our Field Pricing Made Simple Pricing Strategies webinar today. This is an informal conversation. I'll be here sharing from my experience, strength, and hope, having worked with hundreds, thousands of contractors at this point and ridden along, I ride shotgun with service technicians so that I get an idea of what works and what doesn't work out there in the field. And I've got lots of opinions about price books. So today is the day that I get to share them with you. And I'm here with my friends from Profit Rhino so that they can also weigh in on a really great tool. They've listened to my suggestions, and I'm super happy to be part of the program today. And I just want to say welcome to everybody. We've got you on mute. If you want to participate, you can type in the questions box. And when you do that, Michelle, you and I are going to be on the lookout for questions. And Jeff, if you're speaking and I need to interrupt, it's going to be because I see something in the question box that needs your attention. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. And then on the staff side, Michelle, I'm going to mute you.
Sounds
And
good.
you can unmute yourself because you're an organizer. And Jordan, I'm going to do the same thing with you.
Sounds good.
And it sounds good. If it starts to get weird, I'm going to mute either me or Deb for the time being. But are we going to turn it over to Jeff now to get us started?
That sounds perfect to me.
Okay, and I think there's a place where I chime in a little bit.
There is.
Yay!
There is, and I will
Okay.
make sure I cue you up for that one.
Okay, so love, love, love.
All right.
Jeff,
First, yeah, go
introduce
ahead.
yourself and take it away.
You got it. First of all, thanks to everybody for taking some time out of their day to spend with us here. I know your time is valuable, so I promise that we're going to provide some value for you guys here on this call. Also, thank you to Ellen for kind of twofold. One, for really giving us a lot of feedback that we have implemented in our price book to make it an even better product than what we had. And two, for again, giving us an opportunity to present it to all of you. So I'm going to get started here. We've got a lot to cover. We've got a great price book, and I really want to be able to share all these features with you here. So we're going to start here today. This is our Field Pricing Made Simple. To introduce myself, my name is Jeff Crandall. I'm the Director of Client Services here at Profit Rhino. On the call today with us, we also have Deb Fry. Deb is our co-founder. She's really the catalyst behind Profit Rhino. This was inspired originally from her frustrations and limitations of a flat rate software. And again, she's owned some contracting businesses. So what she did is she partnered up with our other founder, Jose Morera, and we built what you guys are going to see here today. So she's, again, the catalyst behind this. She's an amazing resource for us, and it really allows us to see things from the contractor side. And then, of course, you guys all know Ellen from the Business Uncomplicated team. Again, I want to thank her for joining us here. Ellen, if you want to get started, if there's anything else you want to present before we jump right in, feel free to do it now, and we're going to we're going to go through the system, show you guys what we have to offer.
Well, I promised that during the course of today, I'm going to share some of my tips for getting price books used. I want to make this lively and engaging and appropriate for you. So if you came to the party today with a question about price books, if you type it in the question box, we're going to be able to answer it. So my encouragement is bring yourself to the party, get engaged with our time together. This is an awesome opportunity to learn about pricing in general, Profit Rhino in particular, and to get your questions answered. So even if you have another price book today and you say, well, I don't use Profit Rhino, but just ask it, because that's what I'm here for, is to be of service to you with any of your flat rate pricing questions, and particularly how to get your team engaged with it and really get a book used to the benefit of you and your team and your customers.
Outstanding. So hopefully everybody has located that chat and that question box. As Ellen mentioned, please feel free to use that. Throw out your questions. Chances are, if you have a question about it, somebody else on this webinar also has a question, and we want to be able to get those answered for you so you can see how Profit Rhino is benefiting our customers, and hopefully it's something that can benefit you guys as well.
Hey,
Today
Jeff,
we
just to make
really
sure
go
then,
ahead.
let's make sure it says questions. Okay, so questions is what the that there you're going to click on. Questions, that's where you're going to type it in. And go ahead and say howdy, hi, glad to be here, what up, something so that we know you're engaged and we can see that. And then Jim, I know Jim, hi. And he already has a question in terms of what's difference between your price book and others. So that's something for you to keep in mind, Jeff, as you carry on. Is this you might say, hey, this is unique to us, or this is something that we just do a little bit better than the competition, and here's why we think that's so. And hi to Paul. I feel like Miss Julie when everybody starts typing in their howdies. And hey, Suzanne, we talked to you. Thank you, Lynn, for keeping us straight. Monica, Shell, hi, Shell. Yay, we've known each other forever. So, okay, life is good. Jeff, take it away.
Sounds good. So before we get started, we've actually invited a guest speaker here. Jordan Blanton is with J. Blanton Plumbing. They've been with us now for a little over 13 months, 14 months. And we've been working with those guys for a long time. We've built a really good rapport, but we worked hard with them to get the price book set up the way that they wanted to and really made sure it was something that fit into their business. So, I reached out to Jordan and asked him if he would be willing to join this webinar today, give you guys a real candid idea of where they started and their actual thoughts about Profit Rhino and where it's come. So Jordan very, very excitedly agreed to do that for us today. And again, I can't thank him enough for doing that. So I'm going to give Jordan just a couple minutes here to go through a quick testimonial, let you guys know about his experience with Profit Rhino, and then we'll move on from there.
Okay, so I just unmuted Jordan. Hi, Jordan. And Deb, I muted you, and I'll try and keep an eye on the call quality. Hey, Jordan.
What's up, Ellen? And thank you, Jeff, for the introduction. So basically, I'll just start that we've been doing at J. Blanton Plumbing, we've been doing a flat rate price book for several years now, but it like Jeff said, it was last October, excuse me, where we came on board with Profit Rhino, and I started working with Jeff. For one of the issues that we were having a lot of problems with was I was hand typing an 80-page price book, saving it as a file, sending it to print, printing it out, putting it in binders, laminating it for our guys in the field. We'll get into plenty of the benefits as the webinar goes on, but some of the issues that I was having was that every time we wanted to raise a price, or, for example, in April of 2014, water heater prices changed for us. So our prices changed. Rather than being able to make a quick fix, it was reprinting, reformatting, doing all kinds of stuff with our prices. What we do now has saved me a ton of time, saved our company a ton of time, and it's been super effective. Is through Profit Rhino, we're able to go in, find what the tasks are, input the prices that we want, and then once we create a book, it's live for all of our guys to right away go into their app, pull it up on their phones or on their tablets, and use it, and have that updated price. That's one thing that saved us a ton of time. The second one is just kind of something that we like to do is educate our customers, explain to them what the value of the price that what they're paying entails. It's not just we're fixing something, see you later. It's really nice to be able to explain to them this is what the standard price is. If they're a value customer, here's what their value price is, so it shows them the money they're saving there. It also has good terminology and vocabulary where we can explain what goes into our warranties, how long we're expecting it to take, things like that. And that helps kind of put the customer at ease on where their money's going and what it's going towards. And then finally, I guess the last thing that I'll hit on is the chance to upsell and say, okay, we're putting in a water heater, but we're also going to put in a pan, and then this is the add-on price to add a pan and pipe it to a floor drain. this is the price to add a ball valve so you can shut, the water down, on and on and on. It's been super effective for us. And I want to make a note that I don't know if I'm either Jeff's biggest pain in the butt because I call him, a couple to several times a week, or which I'm assuming the case is, Jeff and Prophet Rhino is just unbelievable at not even returning phone calls, but being on standby. So as soon as we call in, we get somebody, we talk to them. There's not much of a waiting game when we have questions. It's almost immediate service, and something that has benefited our business unbelievable amount. And it's a relationship that we really enjoy on our end, and something that for sure is going to continue on.
Jordan, that's a very ringing endorsement. I appreciate it. Kind of goes back, I think Jim asked the question, what sets us apart from our competition? Two things that Jordan pointed out there, and I think they're two of the things that we really excel at. One is we have award-winning customer service. We have people available to help our clients get this implemented, to help them get it live in the field. And again, speaking with Ellen, I know that's the challenge, right? Is having this price book out in the field where your techs are actually using it. So we understand that importance, because a price book is really only worth anything to you if you're using it in the field. The second is the ability to customize, the ability to make changes on the fly. Our philosophy here at Prophet Rhino is that your price book should fit into your business. You shouldn't have to change what you're doing at your business to fit into your price book. And we really have that over our competition, in that we don't have a rigid price book that tells you this is what you need to do. It's there and it's preset, but you have the flexibility to change and massage it into what you're doing there at your business. So it's always going to be your price book, and it's something our customers rave about. Is now they feel like they're walking into a customer's home with their price book, their descriptions, and the customers feel like, oh, you know what, this isn't just some cookie cutter price book that a bunch of people are using, that these prices got pulled from nowhere. So those two things, and I'm glad that Jordan touched on, those are really the two things we pride ourselves on, and setting ourselves apart from some of the other companies out there. Jordan, thank you again.
You're just
I appreciate it.
adorable. I want to jump in here a little bit. Jordan, you're just so great. And can I brag on how young you are? Like, how old are you?
26. Not that young anymore.
20, not that young anymore. I mean, he's younger than my son, so he's that young. But I just want to underline that I think it's so cool that you're engaged in the family business, that you're taking on this project. When I was there, these are clients of mine, the Jay Blanton Plumbing team, and I am so proud of them and the progress that they've made. I mean, they were successful before I got there, and I feel like we've had a good impact on your increasing success. But one of the things I said, I had some tips for you about your price book. Is there anything that I shared with you that you remember that rang true as far as working with Prophet Rhino and getting your price book cranked back up?
Yeah, and that's another thing that we've worked with Jeff on is, Jeff, you probably know the exact number of tasks, but it's up in the tens of thousands, I think, of potential tasks. And one thing that Ellen said that's helped us out a lot is just kind of toning it down and just keeping it to as small a number as you can, because we use on average, I don't know, 200 or 300 tasks at any given moment, depending on the week, depending on the time of year. There's the same ones that keep coming up and coming up and coming up. So what we did was try and make sure we had down pat the 200 or 300 tasks that we use on a regular basis. Make sure that those reflected what we wanted, to show our customers. And then what we've added since then is every time maybe we don't have the specific price or task formatted the way we want, our guys will let us know in the office, and then I'll call Jeff and say, hey, I want to make a change here, or I'll just go in and do it myself depending on what it is, and we can kind of customize it that way. But the main focus has been on kind of condensing it down so that we can use, the certain tasks that are coming up all the time that they're easy to get to and easy to explain.
Hey, can I ask one question too? Um,
Yep.
uh, if the task is not in the book, see, I think even 300, I think that's much better than 10,000, right? And even
Yep.
300 may be more than your guys use. Just a case in point, or just a bit of advice here, guys. When I ride along, what I've noticed is most service technicians don't use a price book. What they have in their heads are like 10, 15 prices. And they use those same prices over and over again. You may have noticed them as those invoices come back from the field. And so even that, you could probably tone it down. But if you do run into a situation where you don't have a price, can you create a price on the fly? And do your guys have the training and the freedom to do that? How does that happen? Or do
So
they call in? Calling in is a legit thing too, but just explain that to us as far as what you guys are currently doing with that dilemma.
So what we do is, for every task that they perform, they write it out on their invoice. And in cases where they don't have a price for it, they call in to myself or my dad or Jane in the front office, explain the situation. If it's something that they're not sure on, depending on the guy, if it's a junior tech or a senior tech, and
Mm-hmm.
they're aware, they can either do their best to price it out or ask us what our opinion is. And then what we do is we have them write the task down as T99900, which will make sense when you actually look into the price book, but everything's
Mm-hmm.
tasked out T and then a 5-digit number. And when they turn that in at the end of the day, I go through, I look at what all their tasks are to make sure that they're filling out the task correctly. And then on the ones where I see 99900, we put in basically like a claim for me to go in and update our price book so that that specific job, the next time it comes about, will actually have a task for it.
Okay,
A
that's
number.
a really good workaround. And that, I just am looking for places where I can share some tips in a street smart way. And thanks, Jordan, for playing with me on that question.
Not a problem.
Yay! All right. Well, Jeff, should we let you carry on with the presentation?
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Sure.
Kenny, I
Jordan,
saw.
again, thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. And Kenny, I
Thank you
saw
guys for
your
having me.
question. I'm going to hang on to it for a minute, but we won't go past it. Let me just give Jeff a chance to go through some of his presentation slides, and I'll make sure that we ask and answer all questions that are typed in today.
Perfect, perfect. So again, kind of going back to Jordan's point, we're going to jump in and show you guys some of that flexibility, show you that presentation tool that they're using here in the field. So just to give you an idea of where we've been, we began as a fully customizable price book. Again, we took the feedback from Deb and we've built a price book that can grow with you as a company. Where we are right now is we are now a selling system with a price book, and thanks to some great feedback from Ellen Rohr, we now have what's called a Go Live book as well. So you can think of that Go Live book as your most common tasks, the things that you do 80% of the time. We've
Mm-hmm.
pre-built that into the book so that you have that. And again, as Ellen mentioned, you want to have those tasks you do all the time in one nice, neat little place, and we've pre-built that in. And that's one of the things that we did with Jordan and his company is we went through and we built that Go Live book into their system as well, because again, they've been on with us so long that we hadn't already built that in. Once we did that, they were able to again have a customized book that now has those things already taken care of them for them. The other thing that we've built now is a dynamic quote builder. So the ability to build quotes on the fly right there from your tablet, show the customer the price, get a customer signature, have the ability to get authorization to do the work, email them all from one nice, neat little program is something that we have built into our price book. And again, now we also have the ability to import into your QuickBooks or any field service software that you're currently using. And where we're going, the next thing that we are working on in first quarter of 2016 is to have a real-time integration with QuickBooks. Again, a transactional integration with QuickBooks, and also with one of our other partners, ServiceTitan. And again, that'll be something we grow to our other field service partners. And then the other thing, which will actually be ready here in the next couple of weeks, it's in beta testing now, is the ability to build dynamic options or bundles on the fly. And again, that's something that gets kind of mixed reviews, and everybody does things a certain way, but it's one of the big feedbacks we got from our customers was, hey, how do I build this customer a good, better, best option? So we actually have built an option quote builder right into the system that'll be released here in the next couple weeks, and it's a feature that we're very proud of. So the biggest thing to understand is we take feedback from our partners and our customers alike, and we implement them into our system. So it's always going to be a living, growing system for you, and you're always going to get the best of the best with this. So no further ado, I'm going to jump right into to our agenda. We're going to jump right into our flat rate mobile app, show you guys use in the field. We'll take a brief run through of our web-based software just so I can give you an idea of how easy it is to customize, as Jordan was mentioning, how easy it is to add a task here. Oops, sorry about that, everybody. And then from there, we'll go through and just give you guys an idea of how the resources we have available.
That was
we'll go
too
through any
fast,
questions
Jeff.
that we haven't answered.
That was too
I
fast.
think that might have been you. I think you have control.
That was just too fast.
No worries, guys. So in a moment, let me know. You should see my my iPad pop up on my screen here real quick. Give me just a second to make that pop up. And then what we'll show you guys here is use in the field. So I
Okay, now
apologize
I'm going to give you
I'm going to
give you Kenny's question while you're doing that, so that you can find a good place to show this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Kenny's question wants to know is, can you change your hourly rate on the fly? Now, Kenny, I'm going to say heads up first off, I don't love that concept, but you could show them where you could change it and how complicated it is to change it. But what we don't want to do, FYI, another tip, I'm going to look for places where I can insert some street smart tips. We don't want our guys creating prices willy-nilly. I like what Jordan said. If it's not in the book, they call in, I think is legit, or they indicate that they've made up a price and here's the number. So we notice it and then can talk to them about it when they get back to the shop and say, hey, what'd you come up with? Do we need to add it? Was a one-shot deal? Or you might say, oh, it was already in the book. It was called this, and you add this to this and create a bundle. Those are some good tips there. Kenny, be careful of changing the price in the field. And I know Kenny's expanding his team with a new team member, so excited about that. You want to set him up to win by doing the pricing for him and make that a once in a blue moon kind of event. I'm just bringing that up. I bet you know that already, but it gives me a chance to share that advice, Kenny. And then now as you progress, Jeff, be sure to show Kenny where you could change your hourly rate in the field. I know there is a place to add an additional discount on the fly, so you can show that too.
There is. So the beauty of the system is it's built off of your hourly rate. So maybe that hourly rate changes, whether you incur different expenses and you want to bump that hourly rate up.
Or you
can
talk
do
to
that
Ellen.
simply and easily in our or you talk to Ellen and she says you need to charge more.
Yeah.
Then you can go right into our markup section. Just change that hourly rate. Once you click save, it's going to regenerate the prices in your book right there on the fly. It takes a few seconds. Your techs will have access to it on their tablets. So yes, the short answer is you can absolutely change those hourly rates as you see fit, as those as your bill out rates change, and make sure that everything stays updated. When we jump into the web end here in a moment, I'll show you exactly where that is. Again, it is about a 5-second process, and again, regenerates your whole book there. So I'm going to jump in. You guys, everybody should be able to see my tablet on their screen. This is how our system looks on an iPad. The one thing we really like about the system is that we don't have Profit Rhino branding throughout our app. The app is branded for your company. Again, you load up your custom logo here. Your company name goes up here at the top. The other thing we've worked really hard to do is have a system that is simple and easy to use. It's very linear. So we don't have a lot of icons up here for your text to get lost in. You have your book and your quote builder, and again, this option builder, which will be released here pretty soon. But that's really it. So we're going to jump right into this book, and we're going to take a look at the books that I've created. Now, as you can see, we work with HVAC, electrical, and plumbing companies. I have a couple different books created in my demo account so that I can have a few different views. So if I want to see different pricing, I can look at any one of these books. I actually even created a handyman task book the other day as I was working with a customer that does a lot of handyman work and showing him how, look, even though our price book is already pre-built for plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. You can put your odd tasks in here, and you can have those, for your techs to be able to use if you do something that falls out of the realm of one of these. So we'll take a look at our master plumbing book here. Go ahead.
Can I interrupt again?
Absolutely.
One of the questions from Amir is can you gear the price towards commercial? And new construction, Amir, you're going to be doing bids. I would not say that this is going to be a great new construction tool. You're going to be doing a more, go back to the office and craft a bid for new construction. But for commercial service work, do you have clients who do that, Jeff?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. We have, most of our clients to do commercial work have a residential side. You're going to use this really for your residential, for your service work. For those commercial jobs, obviously you're going to price those out as the job comes up. Now, for certain kinds of jobs, for instance, maybe a water repipe, you can have the task built in here, so you can build that using our quote builder feature, but really it's geared more towards residential.
Okay, good answer. And that's fair. I think there is some flat rate pricing you can do with commercial, but Amir, that's going to be pretty unique to your company, and there's probably going to be fewer tasks that you could use a book for. And those are going to be service work of a residential nature. In other words, like you might have Sloan valves or some other things that are not that far from what we would do on residential work. So just FYI, this is going to be mostly residential, but water repipes, you could have like 3 versions of water repipes, especially if you work in, I always say East Texas, just because like there are subdivisions in East Texas that are very homogenous. If your neighborhoods have a lot of similarities, you might find that you do work in neighborhoods that have thousands of homes all built the same, era that are very similar. You may be able to flat rate some of those smaller install or repiping jobs? Really good question. And Jeff, I'll let you get back to the presentation.
Perfect. And there's a couple other questions that I will also get to. Again, Monica, I see yours. Matthew, I see yours as well. And I will get to both of those questions here as we kind of flow through the price book.
Okay.
So we have our price book separated by our plumbing, our drain cleaning, and our water heat. If I touch on plumbing here, it's going to bring me right into our price book. As I mentioned, this Go Live book is really a brainchild, if you will, of what we worked with Ellen on, of getting, again, those tasks that you do most of the time put into one nice, neat little place. So that's where we're going to go here since we're talking about it. And here we have separated by rooms of the house. Now, as I go through, everything inside of our book is 100% customizable. So you can rename categories, rearrange them, combine them with a click of a mouse. So while we've got it pre-built, just understand that if you want to, again, massage it so that it fits perfectly into your company, it's a very simple, easy thing to do. We're going to jump into this bath category, and here's our pricing. Our pricing, again, is set up. Again, I have mine set up here to help sell service agreements. I mean, that's kind of something Jordan was speaking to that allowed them to help sell more of those service agreements. Some companies that do them, and some companies don't. The companies that do sell service agreements really rave about this helping their tech sell those service agreements in the field. So our pricing is set up with a standard rate, a club rate, and a use-safe column. And again, this can be adjusted. You can have just 2 columns of pricing. You can have a premium rate or an overtime rate. Again, you can adjust this to be, again, fit right into your company. I have mine set up here with this use-save column. And then, of course, we have our tasks. So our tasks are built very simply and easily. You have your task number, the number of minutes associated with the task, again, which you can choose to show in your price book or not show. And then, of course, here's your task description and that 3-column pricing that I talked about. Now, one really nice feature that we like is this red call to action message, which is customized. Again, I have your price, your book, your way, again, for my demo account, but it's a nice place to show the customer something that you want them to see along with these 6 bullet points, which are, of course, preloaded, but customizable for you and your company. We're going to take a look at this major toilet tank rebuild. I'm just going to touch on the task here. It's going to drill down into that task for me, and I'll show you a couple of extra features that are, again, really nice visual features for both your techs and your customer. The ability to have a diagram loaded right here on your tablet. Again, a lot of times customers will ask questions, hey, what's a flapper valve? Again, these are something that you guys do every day, but customers, this can be a foreign language to them. So the ability to just simply touch on the picture attached already to that task and show them that right there in the field, I think is a very powerful tool a very visual tool. You also have the ability to load in installation guides. So if we go into this installation guide here, as you can see, I loaded a PDF, and these can be multiple page PDFs, really whatever you want to have, show to your customer, you can have loaded here. These are great visual aids again. Now from here, you also have your parts list. So when we look at this major toilet tank rebuild, here's my laundry list of parts to complete that task. So it's all right here at your tech's fingertips. Again, the parts are pre-built in. Your diagrams and installation guides can be anything that you want to have attached to those tasks.
Okay,
So
can
from
I
here,
jump
it's
in?
time
Can
to
I
build a
jump
quote.
in right there?
Go
Why I
ahead.
love this so much. Let me just, those installation guidelines. That's where you put your operations manual. That's how your technician out in the field knows what to do. So the curriculum that you use to train how to do that particular repair, you've got a little bulleted checklist. That's what you're going to do to help a brother or a sister out by including that in the price book. Also, I love so much those diagrams and cutaways. They can be used really nicely in the field to communicate to the customer. This is what I'm going to do. See how the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. If I touch this, then this too might also need to be replaced. So we have a minor rebuild and then a major rebuild. That answers a bit of your question, Monica. I want to dig into it a little bit more, perhaps, as we have time today. But the best service techs are going to give themselves some plan A and plan B conversation with the customer. They're going to have a plan A and plan B conversation with the customer. Mrs. Fernwicke, plan A is that we replace these components. If that works, then you're gold, at least for today. But note that the whole system or the whole toilet or the whole disposer or whatever, all of this is 30 years old. So we also have an option for the more intensive repair. If you'd like, we can go straight to that. If you want to, we can do the minor repair and then see where we stand. And that if when plumbers, heating techs, electricians talk in those real terms with their customers and show them what the options are, very often the customer goes, I get it. Why don't you just replace the whole thing? Or they'll say, okay, let's go with the minor repair, knowing that we might have to meet after you do that and see where we stand. And Monica, that takes a little practice with your team. Okay, now I'm going to let you go, Jeff. And here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to suggest for some of these style questions and street smart tips that I have to give. Jeff, I'm going to let you continue on with your presentation. And then we're going to do a little tips from Ellen. And then I'm going to have you recap the presentation at the very end before the top of the hour too. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Absolutely.
Okay, that way I won't
So
keep jumping in on you. Okay.
You know what, I appreciate it. I think what you're saying definitely resonates, and it's really what we believe in too. So feel free to jump in wherever. Monica, to answer your question, the prices that we're looking at here are based off of an industry average bill out rate. Remember, once you put your bill out rate, these prices will be customized based off of that bill out rate. So again, when you say, can you have it geared toward your prices? Once you put in your bill out rates, that's exactly the way that they're going to be set up. So it's a great question. So let's now build a quote. We're going to get this customer a quote to do work. Let's say we go into the house to do this major toilet tank rebuild. There's this add button. All I'm going to do is simply touch it here. You're going to see that green pop-up message that said it added it to my quote. Now, we've also built in a second set of pricing for every task in the book. We call them add-on prices. So if you're in the customer's home and you go in to do that major toilet tank rebuild and they ask you to do additional work, you can give them a discounted rate because, again, now you're already in the home. You have your tools out. You can go in and you can really just charge them for that wrench time, the time it takes to complete that task. To be able to see these add-on tasks, there's a button up here in the top right. We're going to touch it. It's going to turn green. And below our tasks are going to be the same exact tasks that are up there, but with an add-on price. And the reason we have this add-on button up here and it doesn't automatically show up is, as you know, if a customer sees two different prices for the same task, they're automatically going to want the lower cost. And it also prevents techs from accidentally giving a customer an add-on price versus a task price. So those are available to you. I would say the majority of our customers love this feature. There are some that really aren't too thrilled with it, but again, it's a feature that you have available to you if you choose to use it. So now let's say we need to go in and pull and reset this toilet. We're going to go ahead and hit the add button here, and maybe we need to add a couple of supply lines in here as well. So again, a very simple task. We've created it here on the fly, and now it's time to give that customer a quote. I'm going to simply touch this clipboard up here. It's going to pull that quote up that I build up on the fly. So here's my major toilet tank rebuild. Here's my supply lines. Here's that pull and reset toilet. It gives me my standard rate, my club rate, again, however you have yours set up, and then my use save column. So when my tech chooses club rate, it's going to give them their total savings, or maybe they're not a service agreement customer. So we touch the standard rate, and it gives them, again, it gives that tech another in to be able to sell those maintenance agreements. So in this case, we're going to choose our club rate. And then we're going to go over here, and maybe you run a special, an internet special, maybe $50 off for your first-time customers, or you give a percentage discount for military or senior citizens. So you have the ability to do a manual discount right on your quote here as well. So when I hit this button, it pops up a box that allows me to put in a flat amount or a percentage. The system will calculate either one. In this case, let's go ahead and give a $50 discount. So we're going to just type in 50 there and click calculate. And it automatically tells me the percentage of that discount, takes that $50 off my total, gives that customer a new current total, and now it's time to get the customer to sign off to get approval to do the work. So we touch this customer signature button. You have all your your legalese, if you will, that are above the signature. These are all preloaded in the system, but of course customizable. So this will be whatever you want it to be. You can use our verbiage that we've got preloaded, or again, choose your own. Your customer now signs here, done. We have a signed quote that we can now email to the customer or email to the office right there on the fly and get that customer, a quote to do the work. So I'm going to hit this save button here, and it's going to pop up a box that allows me to put in customer information. Now, if you have customers that you guys are already working with, you can simply load those customers into your system, and if we touch this contact button, all those customers would pop up. When you touch the customer's name, all this information right here will pre-fill for you. In this case, let's just assume this is a new customer here. We'll just type in a couple of information. Let's put my email address here in on the fly, and we'll go ahead and send this this quote out. So now we've got a signed quote, and we can get started on the work here. So now we've got an email address in there. Now when I go to hit save, it's going to give me an option. It's going to say, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to email this to the office, the customer, or both? And in this case, I chose the office. Now, you set this up on the back end, so you preload your office email, again, wherever you want it to go. So your tech doesn't have to type in email addresses for the office. He also doesn't have to type in a message body. So this is all preloaded. Again, I have filler verbiage in mind, but you set this in the back end. So when this email pops up, it's already got the email address preloaded. The email itself is preloaded. The quote itself is attached, and all your tech has to do is hit the send button, and off goes the quote. Now that quote is in a PDF format that will go, again, to your back office. It'll go to, again, that customer right there, and they've got a quote right there on the fly. So that is really one of the nicest features, the ability for your tech to get a quote built and sent in literally seconds. And then if we want to take a look at what that quote looks like, I'm just going to pull it up here on my email. I build a quote right here, and as you can see, that quote is right here for us. Now I can simply open this up in my iBooks or my PDF Expert, wherever I want to see it if I want to get a bigger view of it. And it'll show you, again, it has your company logo already pre-built in, your company information. Again, mine has just a dummy logo, but it'll pull up here in a second. I'll show you how that quote looks right there on your tablet. So everybody can see on the tablet there that quote, and it should be vertical for you guys, and you should be able to see the full screen.
And then you can.
So that is really the mobile portion.
You can sign it.
It's already signed. So we signed it. Remember on the tablet.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
So the customer signed it right there. It's already pre-signed.
Let me ask the question about integrating it with other accounting softwares or dispatching softwares. you can't answer every question or get specific to every type of software. Service Titan was brought up. Give us a little bit on how it's going to, what one would do if they use Service Titan and QuickBooks, for instance.
Okay, so that's a great question. So QuickBooks, Service Titan, again, they're a couple of our strategic partners. We have a specific export already built for Service Titan. Again, our book imports into them, and again, I'll show you our partners page here, Service Pal. Really, if you have a field service software that will accept an import, our software or our price book will import into that software. I've yet to find a field service software that we haven't been able to import into, and it really is that simple. So now you have your price book in your QuickBooks, in your Service Titan, and everything meshes up. Now, again, the one thing that we're going to have in first quarter of 2016 is our target date is transactional integration. So when you hit this quote, it automatically just populates into your QuickBooks and everything's done for you. And that's right now, it's an import and export. That makes sense?
How about, let's talk about the materials for a second. And Becky had a good question. Can we use the parts as a truck restock system? And if so, what about the parts that they don't use? Is that more than the system can do? By the way, I want to make sure you understand, I don't recommend that you try and attach dollars to these to this transaction. Don't try and run a real-time inventory at your service company. If anybody has worked with me, you know how passionate I am about this. It's hard to do that properly. However, from a truck restock standpoint, do we have some options here?
Really, every, as you saw when we looked at that major toilet tank rebuild, every part is already attached to the task. If you're exporting our system out, you can export with the parts attached. As far as being a native or built into Profit Rhino, it is not something that you're not going to track inventory or restock your truck through Profit Rhino. This isn't going to provide the reporting that allows you to do that.
Okay, fair enough. So Becky, that's good to know. But again, don't try to run real-time inventory. If you have more questions about that, you can email me later. I just wanted to address that question from Becky. All right, keep going, Jeff.
And yeah, absolutely. Paul, to answer your question, how do you work a good, better, best on the estimate? That's actually going to be our bundle builder feature, which is going to be released here in a couple weeks, which will allow you to build that good, better, best, and then just migrate it right into this quote. So that's actually a great question and something we're very excited to. And Amir, as far as Microsoft tablets, this app that you see here that we're looking at is currently developed for iOS and Android. So there is not an app available for Windows. Now, of course, you would be able to log into the web end of the price book on those Microsoft tablets, but what we're looking at right here is an app for iOS and Android.
Great.
Fantastic. I'm going to jump out. I think we've seen really the power of the mobile app. I'm going to jump real quick into, and I know that you guys have spent a lot of time here, so I'm going to go very quickly through the web end because I want you to just to see a little bit of the power of the customization that you're able to perform inside of your Profit Rhino. So everybody can see here. I'm just logging into the to the back end here. I'm going to start quickly with the markup section. This is where I was mentioning that this is how you would change your bill out rate. So if you had, like I have mine set up with $125 an hour. If you said, look, I've been working with Ellen and she thinks we should really charge this amount, or I've calculated out what we should charge and I want to change it, I simply change this to, 150, and I click this calculate business information markups, and you're going to see that in literally just a couple seconds, the system's going to go through. It's going to recalculate all my tasks in the system, and then what I see on the tablets, what my techs see in the field, it's going to change all those prices. So in thousands of tasks that we have in our system, in that just few seconds here, that's going to change every one of those. So yes, you can change those on the fly, and all those tasks are now changed. So again, that was probably a 10-second process, and it's as simple as that. You also have the ability to build in your assistant labor. If you want to add a truck charge or a trip charge, if you will, into your pricing, you can do it here as well. You can also build your sales tax right into your pricing. And of course, here's where you're able to set different tiers of pricing. Again, we have them labeled as standard and premium. So if you want to have a service agreement rate or an overtime rate, you can do that all right here. And also your parts markup. And this is our industry standard sliding scale for our parts markup. I would say probably 95% of our customers use this sliding scale. But again, it's customizable. So if you say, you know what, we mark up all of our parts 30%. Absolutely, you can go in here and just have every part marked up 30%. Really, everything as far as customization is at your fingertips. So the other thing I wanted to show you really quick here, and again, I know we're pressed for time, is our tasks, the ability to build those tasks. As you had mentioned, what do I do and Jordan do when their tech goes out in the field and maybe they want to have a task built specifically in the system? And it's as simple as clicking this Add New Task button. You give your task a description. We're going to make this a test task. You just give this task a task number, and again, there's thousands of task numbers that are available. What is We're going to call this 881, and you say, look, this is a 60-minute task, and you click Recalculate and Save. And what the system will do, it'll take that time, multiply it times your bill-out rate, and it will give you a task price right here. You can build an add-on just as simply, or maybe you run a drain cleaning special, and you want to have a task just for the month of December for your drain cleaning specials. You just change this to a fixed rate. You put in, maybe you're doing $129 for a drain cleaning special, so you override that time material, you click Recalculate and Save, and now you have a task that shows $129. So the ability to add tasks and manipulate tasks, it's done, again, with a click of a mouse. The same with parts. And again, that's the biggest question that I get, is what about parts? Now, we've done a great job of going through and getting a great industry average for parts. But look, I'd be completely dishonest with you if I told you that every part's going to match what you pay for it. Everybody has different sourcing. So we've made it easy for you to go in either to the system and manipulate your parts, or you can also upload your own parts into our system so you have an exact match of what you're using, or you can export our parts out, make changes, and import them back in. So there's really, the customization inside the book is second to none. So the ability for you to have your parts in the system is done quickly and easily right there. And the last place we're going to look here is our Manage Book section. I know I spoke to it earlier where I said, hey, you know, you can go in, adjust your categories, adjust your subcategories, rearrange them. It's all done right here. To that end, maybe you don't do anything with pools. You can simply check a box, and it will now exclude that item from showing up on your tablets. It won't export. If you're printing books, it won't print to books. So you can customize these really simply and easily right here. I can change this Go Live book to most common tasks, if that's what I want to call it.
Nice.
So it's all done really simply and easily right here. I'm going to get into the resources again, just to show you guys what we have available for you. There's some questions that we'll get to here in a minute once we jump through there. Ellen, do you want to jump in before I jump into our resource section?
Well, and I think that for the sake of time, we want to honor everyone's time and be done at the top of the hour. So I do want you to make the presentation of what the offer is today. Then I can answer a couple of questions. Absolutely. And then we can revisit the offer. And if there are still questions unanswered after 2 o'clock Central Time, which is 12 minutes from now, I'm happy to stay on the line. If we don't get to you and you're okay staying on, stay on for a few extra minutes, and we can tackle that. So just FYI, Jeff, as far as you gauging the rest of your presentation.
You got it. So the next thing that we kind of want to talk about is, you know, obviously we have strategic partners. Again, we work with really any field service software. You'll look on here. These are some of the ones we work with the most. You know, Service Titan and Service Pal, you know, Successware, Desco. We've recently become a member of the Service Roundtable, and obviously we work with QuickBooks, but really you're not going to run into a situation where if you have a field service or an invoicing software, we're going to be able to fit into that. And so to just get to what we have available for you guys today, what I'd love to do is give everybody the opportunity to, you know, give this a chance. Maybe put it out with your best tech, give them the opportunity to use it in the field, see really what we have to offer. The beauty of Profit Rhino is we do, our subscription is a month-to-month subscription. We do not have any contracts or commitments. So what I'd like to give everybody the opportunity is to take it for a test drive, give you guys $1 for your first month. And again, whether you're doing plumbing and HVAC, and electrical, we can accommodate all three of those trades, again, for that first month for $1. What Michelle's going to do is she's actually going to put this link that we have here in the chat box so that you guys have the ability to, and again, to see that and click on it. We'll also follow up with an email so you have that link. And in order to get that $1 for your first month, you'll use this promo code that you see on the screen here. It's Ellen $1. And I'm just going to go into, there's a separate promo code. So if you do more than one trade, so if you do plumbing and HVAC, you're still going to get that $1 for the first month. If you do plumbing, HVAC, and electrical, you're still going to get that $1 for the first month. And then the subsequent charges per month are very, very simple. One trade is $99, 2 trades are $149, and 3 trades are $199. And that's it's going to give you a chance to kick the tires. And what I would love to do is follow up with anybody who has interest, maybe do a one-on-one demo, answer maybe some of the questions that we didn't get to today. So again, I know that we're pressed for time. There's a lot of great questions here. So I'm going to turn it over to Ellen and see what questions she thinks are the most relevant, and let's see how many of those we can get answered right now.
Well, let's tackle the ones that we have. It works great on an iPad, right? The system.
Yes.
But an iPhone
yep,
an iPhone is a little too small.
An iPhone you can use it on, but we don't recommend it. And again, it's really about screen size.
Okay. Screen size. All
right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There are preloaded tasks. Yes, Paul, and I recommend that you go and do that Go Live book first. You may never need more than the Go Live book. This has been my #1 challenge with price books, is you're going to get it, especially if you're kind of a detail-oriented guy, and you're going to think in terms of the most perfect book you can create, and that book is never going to get done. I've been through this 1,000 times. So while there are preloaded tasks, you could go and pick a few that you move into your Go Live book. And here's the thing, Jeff's going to help you do this. So if you sign up and you get it, there's 2 things I want you to know about doing this today, that Jeff's going to help you. And if you don't have a good experience, Jeff, are you going to let them off the hook? They get to undo this, right?
Absolutely. And again, that's really where we want to be as far as doing a month-by-month subscription with no contracts and commitments is, look, it really puts the pressure on us to make sure that we walk our customers through what they need to get live in the field, to be able to use that software. And again, you can use Jordan as an example. Jordan's never called our office and been left in the dark. We've always been able to accommodate, and I can give you a list of any customer we have, and they're all going to have the same feedback. Again, our customer service is really second to none. So again, we want to make sure they get live, because with a month-to-month subscription, if you're not using our product, if it isn't working for you, you're going to cancel. And our job, our goal isn't to have customers for a month. We want to grow with you as a business, help put more money in your pocket, help you close more jobs, help raise that average ticket, and that's what we're here for. And I know that that's what Ellen's here for,
right? And that's
to help you be successful as a business.
Like we have a money back guarantee at ellenrohr.com. I never want to be in a situation where I'm taking someone's money and they don't see the value. And that was one of the promises that I got from Profit Rhino, that if we partnered up, that they would have the same philosophy. Hey, Monica, I see your question for the first month. You could use it on your iPhone and go ahead and check that out. And I'm just going to pick on you a little bit because you said this earlier. Your customer will pay for your iPad for you. And that's part of, the reason why I champion for higher prices is that you and your guys deserve to have good tools and to do what's right for the customer. It's easier for the customer to see it on an iPad. So that means that they're going to pay for the iPad. So my encouragement to everyone, one of my tips, not just to you, Monica, but every person on the call, is that raise your prices. Raise your prices. My mentor, Fran Blau, told me you can raise your prices as often as you raise your self-esteem. Keep in mind that somebody like McDonald's charges, their selling prices include a 35% intended profit margin to fill our kids full of fat and refined sugar and white bread and poison and all that crappy stuff. So what you do is so much more important than that. So as you put these price books together, hopefully a little Ellen will be sitting on your shoulder reminding you that you deserve to raise your prices. And being able to get these prices has everything to do with the training and the encouragement that you give your service technician. So I do have a couple of tips that I want to share, and then we're going to have you revisit the how to order this, Jeff, so we're clear on that, and then we'll make sure we get to the rest of the questions too. But here are my tips. I would use this book with the go live feature and come up with a list of 25 tasks. It could expand into 100 or so. I think that Jordan is at the upper limit in terms of tasks, because what I know is your techs just don't use that many tasks. This is what I can tell you, I know for sure. So work with your techs to come up with that top 25 and get a book started with that top 25 and empower them to create a task in the field or call you for the pricing if they run into something that's not in the book. But it's better to get a small book in their hands and going than to wait for the perfect book. Tablets are great for this. You can print up a price book. I get that. But my encouragement is to get to the 21st century. It's so helpful to give your techs tablets. They're going to have access to the operations manual if you load it up into the Profit Rhino segments. That's cool. But they'll also have access to videos and to online manuals and FaceTime and a zillion other things that are going to help them do their job better and communicate better with you. So tablets are a really great idea, and Profit Rhino works good with that. Those cutaways, I noticed, Suzanne, you really like those. Those are awesome. Bundling prices. I'm glad to hear that Jeff has got some new things coming down the pike that's going to make good, better, and best easier, and easier to bundle like items together. We already have those add features that you can customize and put a reasonable list of add-ons per task right there at the ready for your service techs at a reduced price, because they're already doing that task. I think is an awesome feature. Now, once you get your price built, you've got to play with it. Do scavenger hunts with your guys. Have them with the tablets in the office and say, okay, find the water heater, find the breaker box, find whatever it is, and have them play with it, because the first time they use it won't be in front of the customer. And if you don't play with the books with them, they're never going to use them. And then ultimately, you're going to ride along and practice in the truck on the way over there. You look on the tablet while he or she is driving. And then when you get to the customer's house, have him take a swing at finding it, or run out to the truck and see if you can find it and go back inside and show it to the customer. When you ride along, watch to see what they're picking up and use that experience to flavor your training when you go back to the shop. You know what, Bob, we really struggled with that water heater segment. How about if we refine that and then we role play it for the rest of the team tomorrow morning at the meeting? This is how you get these books to come to life. And as you do, Monica, everybody else, it's so much easier to charge a fair price for the wonderful work that you do. Your price book can really help you get the kind of prices that you deserve. All right, so Jeff, I want you to go through how to buy it again, and then everybody else who can stay is welcome to stay a few minutes, but that way we can end on time. So if we do want to get involved today, Jeff, how do we do it?
Absolutely. So I believe Michelle just put the link up that everybody has the access to. Click on that link, and then to get that $1 for your first month. Again, if you're one trade, you'll use that link LN1 that you see here on your screen. 2 trades will be LN1 with a 2 after it, and 3 is LN1 with a 3 after it, and that will get you that $1 for the first month. Again, I would love to to sit down with each and every one of you that are interested. I know we'll send a follow-up email, and we can definitely get in touch with you guys one-on-one. The other thing that I wanted to mention is for those of you who are looking to maybe upgrade to iPads. iPad is what we recommend. The screen, what you saw on the screen was on an iPad. We actually have a great source for refurbished iPads. That if anybody's interested, again, we can follow up with you, and we can typically get refurbished iPads for around $200. Again, it maybe you have your own sourcing that might be cheaper, but for those of you who are looking for where we get ours that we use in our office, again, we have a great source for those. So just something to throw out there, kind of help you, get up and running and get that technology in the field for a little cheaper.
Okay, good. Now, can you guys see the link? Just give us the heads up on the link that you can get to it if you need to. All right, we got that. Are we getting an A-OK on that? Yes. Okay, thanks, Shell. All right, cool. Well, with 1 minute left to go, Jeff, do you have one thing you want to share with everyone? And then we're going to make it safe for people to say, okay, I gave you an hour. I'm going to get back to work. One question we did have is, are we going to
Absolutely.
repeat
Go
it?
ahead.
Yes, Johnny, we are. That's my neighbor, Johnny, over there. And we are going to record this and send out the link too, so you can see this from the beginning if you signed in a little bit late. That's cool. All right. And then one last word for you before we say goodbye. And then I'm going to stay on, and whoever wants to stay on for questions, you got it.
Fantastic. First, I just wanted to thank everybody for taking, an hour now out of your day to spend with us, take a look at our product. Again, I think it's been a definite eye-opener working with Ellen to bring on what we have here. So we're very excited to show it to you. I hope you've, definitely enjoyed what you've seen, and we'd love to have the opportunity to work with each and every one of you.
Yay! All right, so click on the link, and then you're going to put in your code for either 1, 2, or 3 trades, and that gets you the good $1 first month. And if you don't like it, then you're off the hook. And if you do like it, you can continue on at those prices on a month-by-month basis. And do take advantage of Jeff and Deb for their good support, man. They're going to make sure that you're happy, and they better. If you have any challenges, you can call me, right? Because I'm putting my name on this too today, and I want to make sure that this is an awesome opportunity for you. Woo! Okay, so can we turn to the informal moment of the event today? Thanks, everybody. If you want to click off, you can, and if you want to stick around, you can too. So I'm going to go through these questions, and I'm going to use this opportunity as a chance to share some street smart tips, and then Jeff will have you answer some questions too. Like this question from John is about roofing. Do you have any preset roofing things, or could you customize the book to work for roofing?
We do not have preset roofing.
Okay.
I think Deb may have already answered. But
Okay.
just to that end, and let's not kind of narrow it down to roofing. It can really be anything. I have
Okay.
customers that put in their own handyman tasks. That task that we built in there, I had a customer that said, "Hey, do you have anything in there for spider removal?" The other day, and sure enough, they were able to build, bug removal and spider removal tasks right into their system. So I guess when their guys go out and do an HVAC system where they are, there's a lot of spiders, so they actually charge the customers extra for spider removal. Really, if you have something that you're doing, you can build and customize your tasks right inside of our system, create a separate category for your roofing, for your spider removal, for your handyman tasks. The book is going to always be able to grow with you. It's always going to be able to be exactly what you want it to be, because you can customize it quickly and easily on the fly.
Awesome. Yeah, and with roofing too, John, a lot of your stuff is going to be bid work that you would have to, take a minute and do a customized bid for. But there are repairs. If you could do your top 25, your top 10 repairs, that's going to allow that service team to go out and do things like patches or gutter fixes and those kinds of things on a regular basis. Flat rate is really my vote, and this question goes to Jake. I want to talk to Jake a little bit. If you can give flat rate prices, what it does is it gives the customer what they really, really want, which is to know how much is this going to be before you do the work. That is such a huge advantage for your guys and for your customers. Now, Jake has a question though. If he does work for the local water department and he is required to charge time and material, can you make the price work with that, or would you just calculate a T&M bid?
You can actually build a task. For instance, you could build a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour task in your system.
Okay.
A separate labor task, and then just put those into that quote and build a quote right there on the fly. That's what a lot of our customers do, maybe in the HVAC world when they're doing their installs. They actually build some a la carte tasks, because every install is a little bit different. So now you have your base install, your base unit, and they're able to add on those additional tasks or maybe additional materials kind of a la carte, so they have a task that's really built for them. Make sense?
Awesome. And I want to talk, I've got a few questions here about getting higher prices. And that is, boy, a very great question, very great topic. The price book is one piece of the puzzle. It's going to help you get higher prices. You've got to create a culture at your company where your technicians feel that they deserve those prices. Again, it has everything to do with their self esteem and that they're set up to be successful. So, in addition to getting a price book, you're going to want to look at sales training, getting books, listening to books on tape, talking to your guys about sales, role playing, getting a sales system ingrained into your company culture. You know, what are the steps that we need to go through on each and every call? This is a culture shift. And as you do, people are going to say, "Oh, they're expensive, but they're so worth it." And for those of you who are struggling with your pricing, a really eye opening opportunity is to go right along and watch your guys in action. And it may make your stomach hurt. They're just not equipped to communicate successfully. A good price book is one core piece of the whole puzzle, but it is not the whole puzzle. There's also knowing how much you have to charge from an accounting standpoint, doing a budget, coming up with a good selling price, and there's taking sales courses and adopting a sales culture at your company. I mean, that's more than we can go through in this hour, but I want you to know you're not crazy. It isn't a matter of just raising your prices and your customers rolling over. What it is, it's a matter of making sure that the value of your services exceeds whatever price that you charge. Show up clean, sober, on time, dressed right, and be able to communicate the value of your services. And that takes some training. And for the most part, you guys are going to be able to relate to this. For the most part, a lot of technicians are uncomfortable with that concept. And that's something that as a team, you may work to overcome. In my world, what I do day after day after day is everything I can to communicate to you, to your team members, that what you do is so valuable and so important that the price should be a non issue. You wrangle lightning as electricians. You keep good water from bad water as plumbers. Isn't that amazing? You've prevented more disease than doctors will ever cure. For a roofing contractor, you keep us safe and dry. That is no small thing. HVAC contractors create weather. To me, there's no way you could ever charge enough for these essential services. So this, I'm going a little deeper, but it's just based on the conversation that we're having in these questions. This pricing system is part of the overall package, and let it serve as your commitment to giving your team the tools they need to be successful in the field. That every bit of it, showing up clean, sober, on time, dressed right, and then having a tablet with the price book in it and with the ability to FaceTime if I get into trouble, or I can go online and I can get the manuals to help me troubleshoot things. All of these things are useful to your guys, useful to your customers, and reasons why they would spend more with you. I got on a little bit of a soapbox there. I hope that's okay, Jeff.
No, absolutely. I was actually just saying to one of my colleagues that I love the feedback. I love how you get that granular, and no, I appreciate it for sure.
Okay, here's a meat and potatoes question from my good friend Ryan. Not all of their tasks are taxable. Can you select which ones have tasks? I'm having trouble with that word. It's going to come down to sex and success in a minute. It's tasks and taxable.
Synonym and
synonym and then synonym. Exactly. Is there an ability to toggle off and on which tasks are taxable?
There is not in the system.
Okay.
So in the system, it's a one one for all. So if you say, look, we're taxing our parts X percentage, it's going to tax all the parts in that business type at that percentage. It's not a toggle by task.
What about so if we had to tax our materials but not the total, or if we tax the total but not the materials, are those two choices?
Yes. So inside of the system, you can tax either labor or material or the invoice. And you can tax either the cost or the retail of either one of those. So you can tax the cost of labor or the retail of labor. You can tax the cost of parts, retail of parts, or you can tax the cost of the entire invoice or the retail of the invoice.
And so in which case, Ryan, what I'm going to encourage you to do is maybe set up a time to talk with Jeff about your specific needs on that. And Jeff, maybe you can show them what the options are and get specific to Ryan on that. Fair
Absolutely.
enough? Okay, so Ryan, thank you so much. And Ryan sent me a poinsettia. Loved it. Thank you. No, it wasn't a poinsettia. Sorry. I get so many gifts. Thank you. It was a basket of stuff that I ate and I have gained 5 pounds on. It was beautiful. Sorry, Ryan. It wasn't the poinsettia. It was the goodies. Is that like a subliminal request for gifts? No, it is not. I just was saying thank you to Ryan. Don't send me anything. But thanks, Ryan.
Nice.
Nice.
Amir, your question, do you need mobile internet to send a quote via email? So our system works online and offline. You have the ability to download the book to the tablet. You can use the quote builder in offline mode. You have all those features. In order to send anything via email, you are going to need some sort of connection to the World Wide Web. So you'll need a cell or a Wi-Fi to just send that email. But as far as our system, you can build, save the quotes. Everything can be done in offline mode. But again, just to send that email, you will need an internet connection.
Okay, now Michelle is letting us know that we're running into problems on the pricing. Card's going to be charged $99, so watch for that. So, and I know Monica is kind of stuck on the fill out thing. Hey, be patient when we do these things. Sometimes all the moving parts don't come together. If you do want to take advantage of this offer, make sure that you indicate that. And if you're having any kind of challenges with the ordering, just email Jeff. And Jeff, why don't you put your email address right in the chat box so that it goes out to the questions?
You
Put it
got
wherever so we've got that and we don't slow anybody down in terms of their ability to get a hold of you.
I'm also going to put in our my support email too, so that it goes to our entire team. Obviously, you can always email me, but if you want to make sure that everybody in the office gets it, if it's an urgent issue or a billing issue or whatever you have, you can just email support@profitrhino.com.
Support
which
at
is in the chat box too.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Jeff Crandall, Jay Crandall.
Monica, hold off for just a minute. I'm having our IT people look at that promo code so that we can get that fixed for you. Again, I appreciate your patience, but we'll definitely get that taken care of for you. So if you could just hold off for just a moment, and we'll see if we can get that fixed for you guys.
And again, on the pricing issue, sales training is so important. Are you guys formally aligned with any one sales training guru, Jeff? Or do you are you non-denominational?
Obviously,
there's some ideas.
Yeah, we obviously are members of the Service Roundtable. Obviously, we work with you, which I think has been a really fantastic alliance with us. But we want to be able to be the best price book for every group. So we're not again, I guess we're not married to any one in particular, but absolutely we want to get with as many people in the market as we can.
Excelente. All right, so there are some really when it comes to communicating the value of your services, a great price book is part of the puzzle. I would also adopt a sales trainer. Now, I am, of all the wonderful things I do for people, being a sales trainer is not one that I offer because there's people even better than me, but you can adopt their system. So I suggest that you listen to their webinars just like we did today. Find someone whose voice resonates with you, and some to try would be Kenny Chapman, Jeff Gitomer, Howard Partridge, Charlie Greer for the HVAC industry, Joe Crisera, my friend Al Levy has some rockin' stuff on sales training. So, go online and search sales training. You might even search it for your industry. Look inside the trade magazines and see who writes the columns, and they're going to have some kind of website freebie that you could download. See whose voice resonates with you, and then have that person either virtually or one-to-one help you develop the sales program at your company. And everyone that I mentioned is going to recommend that you have a really clear, easy to use pricing system. And I encourage you to engage your team as you customize this book, because then their buy-in goes up and you have the opportunity to say things like, if we're going to replace the disposer, we should have an add-on that helps us also make reference to those angle stops. And maybe we want to have all on one page, all those things, the disposer, the spray arm, the faucet, and the angle stops, and that little, P-trap assembly right there. If we had a complete disposer or kitchen sink rebuild, I could use that to help my customer really do the right thing. Because so often our service techs just make one Band-Aid offer and the customer isn't happy. I tell you, you will get more complaints on your lower tickets than on the bigger tickets, because what customers don't like to do is spend $200 or $300 and still have crappy stuff, if that makes some sense. So your ability to sell at higher prices includes a great price book, but is not limited to that. So I'm just sharing that from, as one of my tips today, and I promised that I'd chime in with some of that. Good.
Fantastic.
All right, what else do we have? Okay, thanks. Okay, good. Love to you. I am thinking of you. I'm here to help. Keep me posted. I think it would be a good time to wrap up. If you have any questions at all, Jeff has left you with his email address or support@profitrhino.com. Don't get stuck with a technical detail for ordering. We just tried to put this together with the GoToMeeting, and I tell you, one of the things you learn about the internet is that it works great about 75% of the time. So if you run into a little hiccup, we'll press through. Just make sure you reach out to the Profit Rhino team.
Fantastic.
All right, ready to rock?
I am. We're ready to wrap up. Again, I want to thank everybody for attending, staying over. Great questions. And again, feel free to reach out to our team. We'd love to, if you guys need to do a one-on-one demo, or maybe there was a question we didn't get to, we'd be happy to sit with you guys and make sure we get those taken care of.
Sweet. Well, then let's wrap up here, Jeff. I wish you love, peace, lots of money, and the freedom that prompted you to start your business in the first place. Thank you. Love. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy holidays.